Hello, everybody. It's your man's TZ Mayu, and I'm coming to you with a word inspired by Proverbs chapter 8. The theme and the basis of Proverbs chapter 8 is wisdom. And in Proverbs chapter 8, wisdom is personified. And what personification is maybe an idea or an object taking on human qualities or human characteristics or attributes. For instance, yeah, everybody knows the show SpongeBob, right? SpongeBob is a sponge. You could go to the store and buy a sponge, and the sponge is not able to talk to you. The sponge is not able to hold a conversation. The sponge is not able to express itself. But the cartoon SpongeBob personifies a sponge. So the sponge now has human-like characteristics. It's able to talk. It's able to express. It's able to hold conversation, right? Everybody knows what I'm getting at, SpongeBob. So in the same way, in Proverbs chapter 8, wisdom is personified. Wisdom is an idea. Wisdom is a concept. You know what I mean? It's not physically tangible. It's not physically visible. Like wisdom is not a person, but it's beautiful how in Proverbs chapter 8, wisdom is speaking to the sons of man, is speaking to us. You know what I mean? The person reading the word. Wisdom is speaking and using pronouns such as I. Like in for example, uh Proverbs 8 verse 17 says, I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me. That's wisdom speaking to people, saying, I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me. So in Proverbs chapter 8, wisdom is personified. And, you know, Proverbs chapter 8, verse 19, wisdom says, my fruit is better than gold, yeah, than fine gold, and my revenue than choice silver. You know, and I think about the world we live in today and a lot of people's aspiration, you know, for doing what they do. A lot of people's motivation is money. Well, in Proverbs chapter 8, twice it says, you know, in verse 10 it says, receive my instruction and not silver, money, and knowledge rather than choice gold. And then also in verse 19, it says, my fruit is better than gold, yeah, than fine gold, and my revenue than choice silver. So it makes me think, what should be a man, what should be a woman's utmost focus in life? You know what I'm saying? Put money aside, put that mansion aside, put that dream car aside. What should you desire more than these things? Nothing wrong with them things. You know what I'm saying? It's not a bad thing to have those things. It's not a bad thing to desire those things. But what should be desired more than those things is wisdom, is knowledge, is understanding. You know what I'm saying? Because wisdom is the foundation or the lack thereof with which somebody lives their life. You could walk down the street on a street full of people and you could have discernment to see who does not have wisdom. You could walk up to a stranger and just have a random conversation. And just by them opening their mouth, you know this person lacks wisdom or this person has an abundance of wisdom, right? Wisdom or the lack thereof is the basis which people live their life. So the Bible is saying in Proverbs chapter 8, yo, search for wisdom because those that seek wisdom find wisdom. In verse 35, Proverbs chapter 8, verse 35, it says, for whoso findeth me, wisdom, findeth life, and shall obtain favor of the Lord. And I truly believe that because, you know, there's been a time in my life where I have chosen ignorance. I have chosen willful ignorance. You know what I'm saying? I know the right thing to do, but I choose to do the wrong thing, you know? And then there's also been times in my life where, you know, I've known the right thing to do and then I didn't do it. And I felt blessed. I felt like, yo, man, that was God looking out for me. You know what I'm saying? I had that word. I had that wisdom stirred up in my mind. That wisdom was running through my heart. So it preserved me. Wisdom preserves you. It gives you longevity and a peaceful life. But if you're walking through this life with no wisdom, life gonna be rough for you. So wisdom is super important. You know, I give like a very cliche example, you know, about heeding wisdom, about listening to wisdom. You know, you a young child, right? You don't know much about life, and you see a stove, and that stove top, you know how on the electric stoves, the stove top turns orange when it's real hot. The child may walk up to the stove thinking that, oh, that bright orange is cool. They go to touch it because of their lack of wisdom, because of their lack of prudence, being able to see what's coming ahead, right? They go to touch it, then they get burnt. You know what I'm saying? Not listening to their parent, their mother, who told them 5 minutes before they touch it, hey, that stove is hot, don't touch it or else it's gonna burn you. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times in life, we don't listen to the wisdom that's already stored up in our spirit. The main thing we should be going after as people is wisdom first. Money second, you know what I'm saying? All these other things second, the car second, all these material things second. Wisdom should be first, and wisdom comes from God. You know what I'm saying? If you have a problem with your car and you want the car to be fixed, you go to the manual. You go to the owner's manual. You want to know what the owner says about how to fix this car and to make it run most efficiently. It's the same thing with life. You know, God is the author of life. Wisdom comes from him. We should seek wisdom if we want to be proficient, if we want to be effective and efficient in life. You know what I'm saying? And there's one more point from one more verse that I want to highlight. In Proverbs chapter 8 verse 12 it says, "I wisdom dwell with prudence." And I mentioned prudence once previously in this video. My wife and I looked up the definition of prudence, and prudence is basically uh having caution or having a care for the future. You know what I'm saying? Basically, uh, giving an eye, you know what I'm saying, to the future and the things of the future. So a person with no prudence, for example, would not save their money. They're giving no thought about the future. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that outfit looks cool right now, but are you going to be able to put food on the table for you and your family, right? A prudent person would see the future. Hey, my kids got to eat next week. My prudence won't let me buy this outfit that's going to break the bank, right? In the same way with in the same way with any other thing in life. You know what I'm saying? Prudence is the foreseeing of the future, basically, like the caution of the future. You know, you walking in light if you walking in prudence. And so in verse 12 it says, "I wisdom dwell with prudence." And I think about the word dwell. If I'm dwelling with somebody, that means I'm living with them. So wisdom lives with prudence. I wisdom dwell with prudence. Wisdom dwells with prudence. Wisdom lives with prudence. You cannot have wisdom without prudence, and likewise, vice versa. You cannot have prudence without wisdom. So seek wisdom and seek prudence is basically the point of this message. You know, prudence is caution for the future. Prudence is caring about the future, right? And wisdom is the basis, is the substance for the future. You know what I'm saying? Prudence allows you to seek wisdom, you know? So I just think that's a very beautiful concept. Y'all digest that concept in your mind and seek wisdom and seek prudence. Because like we said in verse 35, "For whoso findeth wisdom findeth life and shall obtain favor of the Lord." And one thing my friend Briggs from work said that her mother always taught her is that favor ain't fair. If you want to live life on a higher level, if you want to live with the favor of God, you must seek wisdom. So y'all be blessed. It's with peace and love that I come to you. Y'all have a great rest of your day.